Artistic Gamer 7, and welcome back to another vlog video on my channel. And of course my nose tries to start itching as soon as I start this. But anyway, if you watched the previous update video, which should have either been on the same day as this one but right before, or the day before this one, you sort of know what this video is gonna be. I didn't want to include this part in that video just because I knew that there was a possibility of it being long and drawn out, and the point of the update video was to update anyone who watches any of the series and wants to know, like, is a certain series for surely coming back, what's going on, like, on all that stuff. So, and this one is more to explain why I haven't been posting. And I know that, you know, some people would be interested in that and some people may not. I know I have some people that strictly watch just Legend of Zelda. So if they're wanting an update on the Zelda videos or whatever, they can watch the update video, which is going to be a little bit shorter than what this one is. And they may be about the same length, but if you would have put these two together, it would have been a lot longer and a lot more drawn out. And, you know, I wanted to get to the point with that one. So basically, I'd stopped, I don't know when I'd really like fully stopped posting, but I know throughout September I was getting some videos out. It was a struggle, and then eventually I came to a point where I was just not uploading at all, because partially because I didn't have videos fully to the point to put them up on YouTube. But also, September just ended up being such a horrible month for me. Nothing like horribly bad technically happened. It was more of on an emotional and mental level of horrible, which, you know, affected me being able to get videos out and actually doing anything. And basically, the two brunt of the things, which one of them more than the other affected it, was my new job and my birthday. Now, one of them seems like it should be a good thing, and the other one, well, technically, they both usually are sort of supposed to be good things, because if you get a job when you've been employed, that's supposed to be a good thing. But, basically, they wasn't, with the birthday one, that's sort of the shorter one to explain, and I've mentioned it in past videos, vlogs, and a few videos just in passing as I ended up talking about it for some reason. I haven't enjoyed my birthdays really that much for a while, at least with a family level. With my friends, I always had a good time with my friends when I planned something for my birthday, but with the family, not so much. But they just seem to be getting worse as the years go on. The last time I think I fully enjoyed a birthday has, honestly, I can't even think of when. I know it had to be before 2015. Part of the reason of that being is I think my 2014 birthday, I was a little annoyed, but I still at least had fun. One of the things I mainly ask for my birthdays, I don't even care if they give me money. I don't care if they give me a gift or whatever. I just want them to sort of come together, enjoy, and all of us enjoy the one thing that I really enjoy, which is video games. But everyone always says I'm too old for that, or I don't know how, or I wouldn't be good at it. But the point of video games to me is not, like, at least when you're coming together as, like, friends and family, is not, like, your age or how good you are at it, or if you even really know what you're fully doing, because I think that's part of the fun of it, is if you have those people that are confused and trying to figure out what it is. I get in a competitive sense that it wouldn't be that way, but when I'm playing with friends and family for, like, things, I might jokingly get mad at them, but I won't actually get mad at them, so, or get upset that I'm losing. So in that sense, I don't understand that. If you're doing it as like a tournament or something like that, yeah, I get it. But playing with friends and family, that's not the point, in my opinion. That's not to win, it's just to have fun and enjoy spending time with each other while playing a video game. So, but that's like the main thing I ask. That's like my number one thing I ask. And like I said, I don't even care if they don't give me money. Just show up and play video games. So it's the only thing it's taking is your time, which you would have been there for my birthday party anyway, just sitting there. So I don't get how it's such a big deal, but my mom had always made sure that someone usually played with me, other than my nieces. My nieces will almost always play with me. And I enjoy playing with them, but when you have a birthday full of people and most of them are not paying attention to you, except for the two youngest who are under the ages of 10, are the only ones really paying attention to you, it sort of can get a little meh. And I love them to death, but also they come down and play with me anytime. Like it's not like I don't have to twist their wrist or anything to get them to play with me. They're like, yeah. So, and now that they're getting older, it's not as much as a thing, because the thing with them being younger, they can't play certain ones. Like when they were younger, they couldn't play certain games and stuff like that just because they couldn't understand how to play it. So, there was limited things that you could actually do with them. Now that they're getting older, it's not as much, but still, like, again, you have a room or house full of people who are not paying attention to you, except for the young ones who are under 10. So, get what I'm trying to say there. But my mom had passed away in 2015, so that made that birthday sort of hard to begin with. But also, like, ever since she passed away, no one's really made an effort to actually try to play the games with me. She sort of knew how much that was a thing to me, and she usually almost forced my sister and my brother to play. Granted, my brother will play with me play video games with me if he has the time or if he's there, but his job usually doesn't coincide with a lot of our birthday events and party events that often, so a lot of times he's not even there. And this year was one of those cases. He wasn't there, so he couldn't play with me. And my nieces wanted to play, but my sister-in-law said that they had to leave. They were in quite a big hurry. So, basically, everyone was supposed to be there at 6. Most of them were there after 6. I think most people got there before 6:30, but not much before 6:30. A few of them were closer to 6, but you know what I'm saying. That no one but me, myself, and my dad was there at 6. My sister was there almost at 6, and she had to order the pizzas, and the pizzas was going to be late because apparently they had a lot of orders to fill and stuff like that. So immediately as people were walking in, they were asking where were the pizzas. Like as soon as they walked in, not where I was, not anything like that. Where are the pizzas? And then my sister would tell them that they're going to be late, and they're like, well, how late? I don't have very long. So everyone was gone by 7:30. Some people were gone way sooner. So, most of birthdays and family events in my family usually last past 3-4 hours. They usually start at like 4 or 5, and I'm not getting home till 7, 8, sometimes 9 o'clock, depending on what's going on and things like that, and if I have my car versus if I rode with my dad, because my dad usually had to go do something for the greenhouses, so if I rode with him, I got to leave early, but if not, I stayed later. So, it just really depends. So they lasted for like a lot longer than this did, because this was like an hour and a half, like an hour to an hour and a half is how long people stayed. And I sat down in one. We have like 2 living rooms, sort of. I sat down in one with my friend Cassie and my 2 nieces, Lexi and Bree, and that was it. Everyone else was upstairs somewhere, and I had just finished eating my pizza. I hadn't really got time to really do much else, and they was like, come on, we're gonna light the cake now. We need to light the cake. We need to do it right now. Now. So I came up there and blew out the candles. They cut the cake really quickly. Everyone ate it very quickly, and then they were gone. Cassie stayed, and we played Just Dance, and my sister played like 2 or 3 songs of Just Dance. That's about it, and that's about the only game that I can ever convince her to even play, to be real honest with you. But Cassie stayed for quite a while time after that. But yeah, mostly everyone in my actual family was gone. So, that just sort of left a sore bitterness feeling in me. Like, you don't want to give the time to actually be there for my birthday or talk to me or anything, because almost no one said anything about, like, telling me to come blow out the candles on the cake, and oh, here's your card, or something like that, or the simple happy birthday, and then that's it. So it was a meh birthday. I really hated it, and honestly, my work had already started to make me not enjoy September, but then that just sort of made things worse. But onto the conversation of my job. I'm in retail, which I've done. Basically, every other job I've done was some form of retail, whether it be clothing or a mixture of other things or plants. It was some form of retail. I refused to work at Walmart, so I didn't think it was going to be on the levels of what I've heard from people who worked at Walmart in my area, but I believe it is, or at least the department I've gotten stuck in. So I haven't enjoyed almost a single day at job. And I know that you're not necessarily supposed to enjoy it, and I feel like people don't fully understand what I'm trying to tell them when I tell them that I hate this job. But I know that you don't necessarily fully enjoy a job. But there's a difference in between not enjoying and dreading. I dread this job. Most days I come home feeling horrible, I feel stressed out, I hate basically everything, and for most of September, a big reason why a lot of my videos got behind, or I didn't do them, or I didn't have them, and eventually this big giant gap of videos occurred, is because I would come home. If I worked a morning shift, I would come home, I'd come and sit in my computer chair, because technically it's the only, like, chair other than my love seat over there that I have in here, and my love seat is more of just when friends are chilling over, and I did eventually mean for it to be a setup for, like, vlogs. I haven't decided how that's gonna work yet still. I haven't actually tried, to be real honest with you, because when I was gonna try, I ended up having a lot of stuff piled up on that seat, which currently it's not too bad, but it needs some help. But eventually I do want to try to set that up as, like, an actual, like, vlog area for when I'm not actually gonna have anything that I need to show from the Switch or from the PC on, and it's just gonna be my face like this is. Eventually I do want that to actually be my vlog area. I just still gotta actually sit down and figure things out and work it out and figure out how I'm gonna do it. So, there's that. But so this is my only chair, so whether I'm going to be watching TV, playing the Switch, or playing on my computer, chances are I'm going to be sitting in my computer chair, because I'll just wheel it closer to my TV if I'm going to go play the Switch or the PlayStation. And I would sit in this chair, and I would sort of look at my TV, I would look at my computer screen, I would look at my PlayStation, and I just didn't want to do anything. I didn't even want to play games, not in a recording manner, just for me personally, to sit down and do something with something I love and enjoy. I couldn't do it. I just couldn't. I don't know. There was just no motivation in me, no want, no drive, no nothing. I didn't want to play Sims. I didn't want to play Legend of Zelda. I didn't want to play Splatoon. I didn't want to do any of those. And like I said, not even speaking in a recording manner. Like, just on my own, not worrying about recording and editing, I still didn't want to. And that's a feeling that I don't think I've had a feeling similar to that once before, but I don't think it was totally that bad. Because for one, usually at that time, I was really low, but video games was sort of my escape. So I still played them, and I still enjoyed them for most of the time, unless I just felt like sleeping. But I didn't even feel necessarily sleepy. I didn't want to do anything. So half the time I would just eventually just turn on the TV, or maybe turn my PlayStation on and go to Netflix or YouTube or something like that, and just watch TV and not really care what I was watching for the most part. Or I would just go ahead and lay in bed and watch TV until I fell asleep. So it was definitely affecting me quite a bit. I didn't feel happy. I would come home, usually I would be angry or mad or stressed, and I'm someone who I don't show my emotions too well. I've gotten to a point where I show them a little bit more than I used to, but especially the more sort of negative emotions like sadness, anger, stress, those things that are on that side of things. Those ones really don't normally show. I normally just bottle those up until they sort of sort themselves out, or like the anger one, I know that I used to go and play like fighting video games when I was angry to sort of relieve that emotion, but a lot of times it just gets to the point where they break, and I've broke more than I usually have in a shorter period of time since I've started this job. It's not good for me. If you follow me on Twitter, you already sort of know that this has been going on. But I didn't start getting any bit of relief or, you know, not being stressed or not feeling down until I finally talked to like the SM of the store and the HR person and was like, I need to move to part-time. I still have not moved to part-time at this point. It's been about 2 weeks or so since I talked to them, but I did re-talk to one of them, and they still are going to be moving me. It's just they're trying to get people in before they move me to a different department, because they're actually moving me in a different department and switching me down to part-time. But as soon as they were telling me that they would switch me to part-time, whether it was happening then or not, that just automatically made me feel a little bit better about the situation. So after that, I actually started getting my motivation back. So I've been waking up, depending on when I went to sleep the night before, I've been waking up anywhere from 7 to 8:30 in the morning to get up and get ready, because most of the time I work the morning shift at my job, which is okay with me. I prefer that. But most of the time that's what I work, so I usually have to be there at 9:45 or 10:30, around in there. And for me, I have like a 40-minute drive to get there, so that means I usually gotta leave at usually the earliest is 9 o'clock for me to have to leave. Occasionally I have to leave at 8:45. So when I wake up at those other times, that still usually gives me anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour or a little bit more to actually do stuff, because I picked my clothes out the night before, so I get immediately dressed. I haven't even really been bothering with makeup going to work half the time because I haven't felt like it. So I just put the clothes on, come here, and I sit down and I either have been recording builds or editing or something like along those lines and getting stuff done. And when I come back home from work, I get back here, like, well, sometimes I of course have to fix food, I have to eat, but I get back to editing and recording and doing these things and stuff like that. Since then that's how I've been able to build up some videos ready to actually go up onto the channel and do all that good stuff. So with that being said, that's helped a lot. They have told me they are going to try to start moving my hours down. I've been basically almost always around 39, 40 hours since I started, since like the very first week almost, because literally I went into orientation and training videos and I worked the very next day, which was something that was sort of strange to me, because normally orientation, where you make sure all of your information is correct and everything's set up like that and get your numbers, and if you have training videos, you watch those. Usually those are like a few days before you actually go to work, because usually they set those up and then they make you come to work the next week. But it was literally like after I finished the training video, she's like, are you available to come in tomorrow? And I was like, I guess. And I literally I came in for orientations on Tuesday and I worked the rest of the week except for Saturday after orientation. So that was a little strange. That was like a real big push like into it, but it's just sort of the way how things are ran and done, and how the department I work in is so low staffed, and it seems like it's also the most neglected by everyone else who works there that's not in that department, and that I feel like they look more down on my department lower. But honestly, I work in the biggest department in the whole entire store, yet it seems like we have less workers than most of the other departments. So it's really strange, or well, at least less people working during a day. Then we have quite a few people staffed. It's just a lot of them are part-time, so technically, they only work 1 or 2 days a week because they also go to school. But a lot of the smaller departments almost always have more people working in that day than we do. So it's really weird. I don't actually fully understand it. The position that I'm supposed to be moving in, I won't have to deal with customers at all. Because I'm like the person who sets up stuff and puts out shipment and stuff like that is what I'm supposed to be going into. So, and does mannequins and those sort of things. So I'm looking forward to that change. Because the one day that I actually enjoyed working was a Friday. And they were complaining about stuff needed to be straightened. So I didn't really, like, I did watch the register, but I didn't focus it on as much because someone else was pretty close to it at all times. And I just folded jeans for most of the day and sized them and organized them and all that stuff. And I came home happy that day. That was the one day that I come home happy. And the day that I felt the happiest in September, I'll eventually get it out. Go through a bunch of S words, but anyway, was a day that I had enough, and I was supposed to work a full 40-hour shift, which was the first full 40-hour shift, which was strange because I almost had to always stay over every single shift that I worked. Sometimes it was only 5 minutes, but sometimes it was 15, 20 minutes past when I was actually supposed to leave. So that would have put me in overtime, yet they fuss at you for overtime. But they scheduled me right at 40, and I was like, and I could not do it. So I called out sick Friday. Was I sick? No. And I know that's a horrible thing to do technically, and it's definitely not in my character to do. I'm someone who at my last job went to work when I felt absolutely horrible. I was actually physically sick, and this may be TMI, but I was in the process of having to run to the bathroom because I was just throwing up. But I knew no one could come in at that time, and I left early sometimes those days if it was real bad, like that one day, but I put every effort into trying to go to that job, and I did work right at 40 hours every single week, but I enjoyed that job. Now, there's some days that I didn't enjoy it, but I toughed through, and I was fine. But this job, no. But something about knowing that I was supposed to be at work, and I wasn't, made it the best day off in my whole entire life. Like, I was so happy that day. And that was sort of ridiculous that, that was the one time I was happy. But it really clicked in my head, though, when I was still trying to do editing. And I have one video that is coming up. It's going to be like an Eevee special, where it's basically, if you haven't seen it from the beginning, this sort of gives you little bits and pieces from the very beginning of the Eevee family. So that, you could sort of see some of the things that has transpired over time. But this sort of sounds really sad because I mentioned it to my friend and I was like, that sounds really sad, doesn't it? But I was looking at myself in those videos and I kept thinking that there was something different about me, and I was like, some of these videos were actually this year. Like, I've gotten to the point of Eevee episodes from this year. They may have been like earlier on in the year, but they were from this year, and I was like, there's something different about me. And I could tell, after I started thinking about it, I can tell that I just looked and seemed happier in those videos, and I could tell it, versus how I was at that current point while I was editing. And that was the moment that I really realized that recording videos at that time definitely would not have been good. Because if I am starting to realize that myself, that the girl in those other videos that was in the same year still seemed different only because she seemed happier, that people watching probably could tell. So, that was a real realization moment for me when I was editing those. But editing those did make me realize that, but they also did sort of make me feel a little bit better about things as well, because when I was watching it, it sort of reminded me of some reasons why I like recording, particularly like The Sims and that series in general. So that did also help boost my confidence up, and that was also right around the time when I went and asked about the part-time position. So, that's all good to go. I am starting to see less hours now. I am getting closer to 35 hours instead of the usual, 39. So they are starting to slowly move me down, so I am gaining some hours to actually be here and record. Granted, I did take like a seasonal position with, or at least I'm trying to take a seasonal position with this one company, but technically they already told me that I probably wouldn't work very much, but they need people on the roster basically, and that they were going to try to work me occasionally here and there, but just don't know how much. So with me moving to part-time also in the other job, I was like, okay, it'd be fine. And they also said that they might eventually decide to keep me on because they've been thinking about hiring me on and off, but they just never actually either had the positions for it or wasn't sure. I think there's one. I think I particularly know one particular side of the things that they've been a little worried about, because there's one particular thing of knowledge that I don't have as strong as I do a lot of the other things. But, you know, they're sort of going to use this as a run to see how things go, and I might actually get, like, a permanent part-time position there, and honestly, I'd much prefer it there already, I could tell you that, than where I'm at now, so that may be an scapegoat for me to get out of my current job, but still have a job. Because I want a job, because the thing about the job is actually getting out and going places, because I wasn't doing that, and that's what I was doing wrong once it came to, like, August, when I had that moment in August. Because I wasn't going out, I wasn't seeing people, I wasn't talking to people. So that was the reason why I really decided I wanted to actually finally get back into getting a job. But I picked the wrong place. But I've already started feeling a lot better the last hours I've been getting, and knowing that I'm going down. This last Saturday and Sunday, though, was like absolutely horrible. We were so understaffed those days, and then one of my coworkers sort of got frustrated about something that's really, really stupid. I'm not gonna go into it, and I don't really understand why it was even such a big deal. But we were swamped and busy, and I don't think they even realized how busy we were, because obviously they wouldn't be acting like it wasn't as big of a deal as like, the thing they're acting like it was a big deal wasn't a big deal, but what they were saying wasn't a big deal was a big deal, because they were saying it wasn't busy, but it was. But anyway, that's a different story all in itself, and I'm not going to go into that because, you know, that's work matters and all that stuff. But and though I have enjoyed most of the people that I enjoy all of them that I work with in my department, but I will say, like, outside my department, I feel like I know no one, and no one really cares about some of the other people. I don't know. I just don't feel like it's a very good work environment for employees. So, and I don't feel like we're listened to very well. But anyway, that's probably like the front of it. Getting into October is about the time when they started confirming that they would move me to part-time and things like that. So most of October, though there hasn't really been many videos on my channel, I have been working on stuff, and there is stuff coming to the channel, which makes me happy, and I'm actually excited and enjoying it again. Because I've always enjoyed making videos, I enjoy editing them. Sometimes there's some editing videos that I'm like, why? Why won't you do what I need you to do? Or, like, the recording messed up and I didn't know it, and then I have to, like, work around the parts that mess up. Other than that, you know, I really enjoy editing and all that stuff. But I wasn't enjoying it anymore. I wasn't enjoying anything anymore. But, you know, now I'm back to the point where I'm actually, like, excited to be working on these things. Excited to be like, oh, I can't wait to get this on my channel. I can't wait to do this. So, yeah, I'm actually excited about things now. So, it's good. Things are going to be coming back. This video ended up being really, really long, actually, which I knew it was possibly going to be long, but I didn't realize I was going to talk this much, which this is a good reason why I needed to go ahead and separate it from the update video. So, I just planned ahead of time this time, and actually realized that it needed to be two separate things. But, I do have plans in the future for other videos as well. I talked about some of those on the update video, so if you didn't catch that, go watch that. It's like, I think it's gonna be, I haven't edited yet, but the recording time for it was like 15 minutes, which probably will be done down to 13 minutes after I cut out, like, the awkward pauses and the beginning. I usually wait a while to make sure that it's recording before I actually start speaking and doing things. So, and also trying to do the ending, because I noticed recently that my software is like cutting off like after I hit the record. When I hit the record button, like let's say like it seems to have been recording for like 33 minutes. Once I hit the record button, it seems like it trims it down to like 31 minutes, and it loses like that last minute or two on the file. So I'm also giving like a while after to make sure that if it cuts anything, it doesn't cut me actually talking. I think I have one or two videos. I know one of them's a Zelda video, which really irritated me, where the video and me talking just ends before I actually go into like the whole goodbye part. I think it's like just go check out something and then it cuts. But I tried to see if there was like I just accidentally cut it off during editing and didn't realize it. But even in my software, that's where it ends. So it had trimmed backwards. So I really hate that, and I feel like it did it to one other video. Like one of my videos that I recorded that same time span, but it didn't cut it off as bad. So, you know, gotta be precautionate about these things. I'm learning. Sometimes your software just likes to make changes on you or do different things that you're not like planning on. So it's like, all right, now I gotta adapt to this. Okay. So, yeah. But, so yeah, it's not like a super long video like this one is. So if you stayed through this one, I'm pretty sure you'll be okay for that one if you haven't watched it already. But thank you so much for watching. I really hope you understand. I feel like I have to apologize for giving breaks more often than I want to, but this one was probably the most needed one out of all of them. I think the other ones, I could have forced myself and gotten through it and been fine to actually get videos posted, but this one, there was no way. There was absolutely no way around this one. There was no way I was going to get videos, but I'm doing much better now. There's, like I said, Saturday and Sunday, there's still days that I come back and I'm like, I'm done. I've had enough. I hate it, and I'm at a real low, and I just feel like breaking and crashing, but I usually can pick myself up before I actually go to bed, and I still have some time to work on things because overall my mindset is a lot better than what it was. But, you know, it's still a struggle every once in a while. I'm hoping that this new position will new hours. I think it personally is. And I've been told by a lot of people on the team that I've been moving to that they're like, oh, you'll love this much better. Because they've all done retail prior and then they moved over to that position and they're like, you'll enjoy this much better. You'll like this. So, I have my hopes up pretty high for that one, so yay. But thank you so much for watching. All my social media will be down in the description below if you don't already follow me on those things. You know, all those social things. Also, make sure you share the video so that others are aware of the issues. Or, I mean, you don't necessarily have to share this video. That's fine with me. But if you want to share it, that's also fine. But, you know, share some of the other videos. So, anyway, I say so, and but, and way too much. That's like my worst ones. I hate when I'm doing like voiceovers and there's like a segment where I'm like, so, but, I have them like all together and I'm like, you really sound like an idiot. But anyway, that is getting off on a totally different thing. But thank you so much for watching and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye!